What's up, YouTube? So as you can see, I'm in self-quarantine, which I'm sure the majority of you are. I haven't posted a video in a long time. That's because I've been doing a lot of projects while I've been home, working from home. And a lot of them have just been home projects, right? So like I said before, we have a house now, and I've been working on the house a lot. So I haven't had time to work on my other projects, and this is one of them. So this is my 1974 Toyota FJ40. I've always wanted one. I think they're awesome looking little trucks. You know, aesthetically, I think they're very beautifully designed. This one, not so beautiful. I bought it on eBay, sight unseen. The seller told me it ran. It does not run. The seller told me it was okay shape or whatever. It is not. It is rusted to crap. Like, it is worse than what the G-wagen was. At least the G-wagen, well, I don't know. At first glimpse, it looks worse than what the G-wagen was. You know, I didn't know that the Zombie Hunter was covered in Bondo and all that, so that was a surprise. Hopefully I'm not going to get too many surprises with this, because there isn't much to it, right? It's a very, you know, it's a lot more Spartan than the G-wagen. You know, there's nothing to it. There's no roof, there's no doors, there's no anything. So we'll see. I bought it for cheap, you know, which is what I like to do. Buy it for cheap, put a little bit of money into it, and just make it look as good as possible. I bought this thing for, it was going for $950 or something like that on eBay. That was the high bid. There was like a minute left in the auction. And so I did a silly move, and I wasn't familiar with how eBay worked anymore, since I haven't done it in a long time as far as auctions. Usually I just buy now or make an offer and then they'll counter offer. So in the auction itself, it was going for like $950 or something like that. And generally what I did in the past was I just put in the highest bid that I was willing to pay. And if it beat the previous bid, it would only go up by like $1 or something like that. It doesn't seem to work like that anymore, because when I put in my bid, I put $1,201, right? Because about $1,200 was the most I was willing to pay for this heap. Sorry. So $1,200 was the most I was willing to pay for this heap, and it automatically made it $1,201. So I paid what I said I was going to pay for it, and I didn't know it worked like that. So I got it for a little bit more than what I wanted to get or pay for it. And there it is. You know, then I had to have it shipped to me, which was another $400, and then have it titled. It has a clean title, so it's not rebuilt. A clean Illinois title now, and it had a clean Kentucky title, I think it was before. So I have it all titled. It's, you know, it's registered with the state. Yeah, there we go. So it's very rough shape. Okay, it is. I don't know. It's gonna be quite a challenge. So here we go. Let's do a little walk around. I wanted to give it a name, right? And I kind of wanted to go with the Zombie Hunter theme that I had with the other truck. But then when I was looking up Japanese, I mean, I'm not familiar with Japanese. I wanted to give it a Japanese name. So Godzilla is played out, you know. And I wanted to stick kind of with the zombie theme. So then I looked up what, you know, the word zombie in Japanese, what it translates to, and it literally translates to zombie. So that was a no-go, because it just sounds silly. I was looking up through all the mythology and all the things. So the one that kind of stuck out to me and hit me in the heart for this truck was Obake. So in Japanese, Obake is a ghost, and it is a shape-shifting ghost. So I'm hoping to have a bit of a transformation with this, and it will shapeshift into something much more agreeable on the eyes, and that's why I went with that name. So here we go. This is the truck. It's rusted out. You can see it's supposed to have light mounted here, so I need to get a light for it. It's got various holes in the fenders and things. It's rusted. The frame, I don't know if you can see it. The frame has a lot of scaling on it. Everything is rusted, right? But the frame has some scaling underneath it and stuff, but it doesn't look like there's any structural damage to it. It's not like soft or anything. So that's a plus. The body is just seems like to be the bad part, and also I need to make sure that I get it to run. So it's this color, but it's not really this color. It was white, but it's not really that white. It was this white. So I've been messing around with it, trying to find out what the original color was, and this is the color that shows up, and it's still glossy too. So they just sprayed over the glossy finish without touching it up or whatever. So it was this color white, which is a much prettier white. It's almost like a pearly, kind of a pearly almondy bluish white. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very nice. So I'm gonna try to find a match for that, but I'm not gonna pay the prices to actually spray it. So I'm gonna try to find some spray cans that are matching that color. The engine does not start. It turned when I tried. I put a battery on there. I need a new battery for a different truck that I have, so I put the old battery in this one, charged it up, and tried to turn it. It cranked. You know well, it moved. So I'll change the spark plugs, change the fuel, and change the carburetor, which weirdly enough has a big hole in the side of it, so it was broken, and they put like some kind of Bondo or something, JB Weld or something on there. So I just pushed my finger right through it, and it opened up. So I need to get a new carburetor for it. And it has the original motor. It doesn't have like a 350 swap or an LS swap. Inside, there's a bunch of rat poop everywhere. It was covered in all kinds of plants and poop, so it's been sitting in a field or a barn or something. So I got to clean this out because I don't want to get listeria or some other kind of freaking, disease. I'm already worried about coronavirus. I don't need anything else to put on the plate. And then of course tetanus I have to worry about because this is what we're dealing with. So it's got a lot of Bondo work on it. Looks like they just been smearing Bondo over all the rusted spots. So I'm going to grind this all down. I don't want to buy new metal for it or new fenders for it. I don't want to buy anything for it, to be honest with you. I could just buy a whole new rear cab for it, like a tub, but I don't want to buy the tub because those are expensive. I could buy an aluminum tub and just be done with it, but I don't want to spend the money, right? I spent too much money on this thing already. So I'm going to fix it all up. It looks like it had rivets where it had fenders installed on it, or fender flares. So I'll put fender flares on it also. I'm going to clean this all up, put all new sheet metal here, and I'll make my own. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look relatively good. They used to have a spare tire carrier. That tire carrier is long gone, and they're expensive. I was looking up buying a replacement one. They're like $400. I'm not going to spend $400, a third of what I paid for the truck. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about just getting rid of this altogether and putting in something that I have laying around. Like, for example, spare tire carrier, right? So I have one of those. I have another one that might fit because I have the actual bumper also for it. It comes off of a TJ, so I might just put a TJ rear bumper on it. Maybe cut out the spots and integrate lights. These lights are broken, so I got to do that. Get rid of all this stuff. Maybe I'll sell this stuff for a little bit of money and get some money back on it. I don't know. We'll see. Rear door does not open because there's some kind of galvanized sheet metal there, and that's because it rusted out, and they just put that there instead. So I'm going to try to patch up this entire tub. So I'm going to grind it all down to bare metal, or get rid of as much rust as I can, and just start patching, and just patch everything up, get it to be structurally sound, and I still have black Monster liner, so I might just after I patch everything, do a skim coat of fiberglass on top of that, and then Monster line the whole tub. I think that would be a good idea. All right, so continuing, more rusted out spots. I was thinking about just trimming this all off, or even doing like a competition cut on here. So just have this open comp cut, right? I don't know. We'll see. I kind of wanted to keep it. I wanted to keep it stock looking, but there's no way I can make this stock looking entirely. So I'll keep kind of like the theme relatively stock looking, but I'm going to put modifications on it because I have stuff laying around, and aftermarket is much cheaper than the original stuff. And prices have been skyrocketing on these because a lot of them are fully restored, and they are going for, you know, like $20,000 and up, you know. So this is not gonna be a $20,000 truck. I'm gonna, you know, if I do try to flip it, I'll try to keep it at around, you know, maybe $7,500, $8,000. Hopefully, just make, you know, a couple grand profit. Yeah. So this isn't pretty sketchy. This whole section is cut out. So I you know, the smart man would just buy a tub and be done with it. But I'm gonna try to repair it. If I can't repair it, then I'll unfortunately have to buy a tub for it. This is interesting as well. So this is I bought this in Kentucky. So, you know, you could just imagine there's a couple of hillbillies riding around the woods in this thing, and you know, the way that you could see how it was repaired kind of has that kind of shade tree mechanic redneck vibe. So, you know, that's what we're going with. That's concrete. They repaired the floorboard with concrete. So I'll have to take a sledge to that, break that all up, you know, remove it and weld in new metal there. It's, you know, very strange, very cheap. Just imagine this thing was beat to shit, and you know, it's unfortunate because they are beautiful trucks. So I'm gonna try to do my best to restore it as close to original as possible, but also do it on the cheap, which means there's gonna be some aftermarket stuff on it. You know, the bumper is just a freaking pipe. So I don't know if I'm just gonna leave it because it's welded in nicely and it's super, super heavy duty, you know. Or, you know, put in a more appealing looking bumper. I don't know. You know, again, I might just try to flip it, so I might not want to put in a new bumper, and I can leave that to the new owner to decide. But if I decide to keep it, then I'm gonna have to lop that thing off and put in a new bumper. I need new glass. They broke the windshield. You know, I mean, it's a train wreck. But Project Obake. There we go. So today is the first day. All right, so the first thing I need to do is flip this bezel around because it is upside down. It also needs to be painted, so it just makes more sense. These are all rusted on. I highly doubt I'm gonna be able to get them all off. That one needs to be ground down. This one, that's just going around in circles, as you can see. It's rusted out. And this one, same deal. Oh, man. All right, plan B. So that's interesting. This is how rusted and crappy it is, but then I took off that other chunk and look at that. Perfectly healthy metal. So that's kind of promising that maybe the truck isn't entirely. There's a lot of Bondo on it, and the rusted spots is where they, you know, where they covered in Bondo. But what I'm gonna do is continue breaking up, you know, the major rusty areas, and then I have a cool new tool that I'll show you that I purchased, that's going to help me sand this all down and polish it. So I'll try to polish this metal. You know, it's probably going to be super thin when I finish cleaning it up. And then maybe cut out what's super thin or, you know, has holes, and then patch the rest of it up. But, you know, like this. See, here we go again. It's clean under here. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll continue cleaning it and, you know, getting it down, straightened out. And I think they just use this to, you know, to repair any dents and shit they had in it. So they might have banged up this fender before and then it started rusting, and, you know, that was their way of fixing it or making it look smooth again, was just piling on body filler. But I'm gonna continue banging this out. You can see this is bubbling up here. Clean it all out, and then what's sketchy here is this is the gas tank. It goes right here. So I'll have to be careful around that when I'm grinding and doing things. But the deconstruction continues. All right, so that was a lot quicker than I expected. You can see they've already put in patches. You can see the welds here, and it rusted out where the welds were, I guess. They also riveted the sheet metal in first before they welded it, looks like. So what I'm going to do is, this is all okay, I'll cut this out, clean it up, and then start putting in strips. More patches, just Frankenstein it together. So it's pretty much the same process I did when I did the Zombie Hunter. The Zombie Hunter's sitting out here. We just had storms coming in last night, so I moved it out away from the trees. So it's been holding up pretty well, you know. Took it out for a little snow wheeling the other day. And so I still have some parts from this truck sitting around that I want to make use of. You know, I ended up putting on the stock tire carrier, swing out tire carrier. So that all works fine. You know, so I have no use for the one that I bought, the TJ one that I bought for it. So I have that sitting over there, and I'll probably put it on here. You know, I don't have a tire carrier, like I said, the stock one for this one. So I'll put an aftermarket one. And plus I don't trust that, you know, a tire should be held on over here. It's just not, you know, it's not secure. So it's going to be a lot of customized work on this one. But it'll look good, I think. You know, I was initially kind of worried when I was breaking up all the metal and seeing all the rust falling out and just piles of rust everywhere. You can see that's just from the two rear fenders, the corners, and that's not even done yet. So, you know, there's gonna be a lot more surprises, but this is promising. You know, I can work with this. Well, this is not going as planned. You think you're getting them off. But really you're just shearing them off. It's a good thing I'm not using this, but it's pretty crazy. Essentially I just broke them all. So there we go. Ooh. Look at that.